So now I'm actually going to edit the animatic. To get ready, I've saved a copy of the project because I'm going to be making some changes to our drawings and to our layer structure. I've enhanced some drawings by adding some extra tones, and for a couple shots I made the backgrounds into bitmap layers and used the blur effect on them to give them a little depth of field. Now the first thing I'm going to do is bring in all my sound clips. And once those are on the timeline, I can adjust my different panel durations to match.
Are you ready?
I'm mostly focusing on the dialogue at first because those clips have a definite duration, so all the other sound effects and music will need to be edited to match the pace of the dialogue.
Are you ready?
I'm also adding in some extra drawings to smooth out the motion of the animatic a little bit and make it easier to understand, and to help it match up with the rhythm of the dialogue a little bit too. This is much easier to do in Storyboard Pro than when we were doing our animatic in Premiere. I'm also adjusting my camera moves and making sure that they have easing where they need it. Now I'm going to bring in some temp music tracks. Since there are so many layers of audio going on at the same time now, I need to be sure to use my volume control points to bring the levels on my tracks down so that they don't overwhelm the dialogue. If you're having trouble getting your volume where you want it, you can right-click on a layer, go to Track Size, and choose one of these sizes to change the height of the track. The taller it is, the more precise you can be with your volume control points. Now that things are pretty much timed, I'm going to go into all my shots and turn off the layers for the arrows. I think they just get in the way when you're trying to watch an animatic. Now on a few shots, I'm going to add a little bit of animation. I like to do that on shots where an element is covering a lot of ground, or especially when things are entering or leaving frame. In this case, there's a fairly complex motion that goes across several panels. I can't use the spread layer motion function in this instance because the changes in direction and speed are too complex. It's easier just to do each panel by hand and make sure that they match up and flow together. Now, there aren't a lot of great places to do 3D shots in this scene, but a couple of these camera moves I think could benefit from a little more sense of depth. So I'm going to set these up in 3D. So here I'm using the cutter tool to divide up the background layers into two folders. One for the stands in the background and one for the platform, and then another for the character. And then I'm positioning those back in space with the Maintain Size tool. And since the shot is already split into two panels, I need to get the background levels into the same position for that second panel. So by selecting them with the Layer Transform tool, I can copy the position and scale coordinates in the Tool Properties panel and paste them to the groups in the second panel. I'll do the same process for a couple other shots too. Now I've actually noticed something important here. We've got a bad cut between these two shots. Because they have a similar sort of perspective running back toward the bright light source of the door, there's this weird sense of shifting as you cut back and forth. Fortunately, I have an easy fix in this case. I can just move that second shot later so that those two shots aren't right next to each other. Now it's just more fine-tuning of the timing and the sound mix. There, now I've got it all edited. So we could preview the whole thing here, or switch over to pitch mode and view it there, but why don't we just jump ahead and look at how we export the animatic and view it then. We'll look at exporting in the next video. I'll see you there.